Hello everybody and welcome to Inside the Mind of a Grandmaster Ana player and me, a top 500 player, seeing how we can take a GM Ana to that next level that seems so minute, but in reality is much larger than what you actually think. So Santa143, our GM Ana for the day, if you want to introduce yourself, go right ahead.
Hi there, I'm Santa143. I play collegiate for OSU. My goal is to
Boo.
go and get their starting roster. I am focusing right now to make it so my Ana is going to level up to the next level of top 500.
Mm-hmm.
And the skill difference between that, as you said, may be small, but it's quite large in reality.
Yeah, the SR difference is pretty small, but in terms of a real top 500 player, that's the difference of someone that's been playing for 7 years and the difference from someone that's playing for like a year at this level. So again, a really big difference. But I'm happy that you're here, even if you're part of Ohio State. This is a Penn State stream, so maybe some people in the comments won't be too happy that you're from Ohio State, but you know, I'm hoping we can all see past it. But just so everyone's on the same page, this is a scrim VOD. That's why we see some stats on the left side. It's blocked off just for, you know, obvious reasons. But this is for the upcoming dive party tournament. So at the end, if you do choose actually to stream this and you want to tell people your Twitch, make sure you stay at the end. Maybe we'll get some content there. But this is fun stuff because this is current stuff. This is stuff that's happening in the community right now. And hopefully I can help people get better at what they want to do. So if you don't mind, I want to get right into this. And I want to start talking about some of the deeper level things of Ana, since in a lot of my Ana VOD reviews, I typically talk about nanos first. I typically, so I'm like, okay, so Ram's like a great nano, but against what they have things that are going to kind of run away from a Ram ult pretty easy. Unless they don't have jump. Nanoing a Ram right off the bat might not be the best because they can just run away from it. Maybe you want to actually nano something different, like if they jump your Brig or if they do something else to your DPS. Sometimes that's a good nano. I don't want to talk about nanos too much though. I want to talk more about the big picture stuff that you probably aren't thinking about if you're not an Ana player. Because from what I was told, you're mostly a Kiri and a Bat player, right? And a Lucio player.
Yeah, I played last season as a main support for OSU. I decided to insta-lock Lucio, and I found a lot of success with him, but I decided to change that up, and now I've been going more BAP and Kiri.
Okay.
And BAP is definitely my strongest hero.
So because you're struggling as Ana and you don't play a lot of Zen either, this character is going to be a big switch for you, because BAP and Kiri are kind of their own sector of flex support, and then you have the Ana and Zen players that's the other side is flex support. You don't have a flex support that's really good at everything usually, but that's because they're just two different types of characters. But okay, we're talking about Ana. I want to talk a lot about how your positioning is going to have to change depending on the composition you're playing against and what you're really trying to get out as Ana. So the reason why Ana is played a lot in that Ram versus Ram matchup and why Ana is played with Ram a lot, it's really easy to get a nade against a Ram because Ram can't move his shield. Once his shield is up, it's done. Whenever he goes into his fists form, it's very easy to sleep him. So Ana naturally does a really good job at dealing with the Ramatra and also helping a Ramatra get aggressive, because I mean, nanoing the Ram ult, nano suffers pretty strong. The other thing is though, you have to understand that when you're not playing Ana in that mirror matchup, sometimes maybe it's better to pick something different. Especially when I'm looking at, they have a Nano Winston that's going to be jumping on you, or just an Ana Winston that's going to be jumping you a lot. If you're struggling to hit good nades here and struggling to get a lot of value aggressively early on in the fight, maybe it's time to actually switch to those more comfort-centric characters like a Kiriko, maybe a BAP, but more so just switching to the Kiriko here so that you're not dying to Winston all the time. That's a big thing you want to focus on. The other thing is, you can't just trust on Brig to help you live here. Sometimes if the monkey is jumping you, you have to drop into your Brig, which is going to drop into your Ramatra to try to bait that monkey into your Ram's fists. You have to use your team to help you. You also have a Torb turret. So you have a lot of things that are going to help you live. You just have to realize what that is and play in that line of sight. I'm sure you already know some of that, but some people that are watching this that might be new to these things as Ana and the things that we really think about on a daily basis, they might be struggling to keep up with that. So if you have any questions, don't feel afraid to interrupt me, because I can almost promise you that all players are thinking the same exact thing if they're kind of lost. But let's get into this. You said you did switch a little bit, so we're probably not going to stick with all the stuff that you switched to. We're probably just going to stick to the Ana. But yeah, if I say that you probably should switch to a given situation, whatever, we'll get to that. So, all right, right off the bat, you're playing here. You're playing in Cafe. I don't mind this position. typically with Penn State, we try to stick our team up on juice just because you can get a lot more aggressive value early on, but I don't mind if you want to play here if your whole goal is that you want to kind of bait them into you jumping you and then have the turret crossfire them as they jump on you. I don't mind it. Especially because with Ana there is actually a lineup here that we will always get into spawn. I'm a nerd, okay? What can I say? I'm an Ana nerd, so I know these things.
In the lineups.
Yeah, I have lineup videos. One lineup a day for those that have been that OG. So yeah, okay. The whole idea is you can sit up on juice, and if they jump you there, which is so stupid if they jump you, like the Ram just gets to just kill this monkey for free, essentially. But, you know, if you want to play up here, this is fine. I mean, I personally don't like it because then they also just get this high ground for free, but this is more of like a team problem than a you problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a scrim. I feel like holding that juice is actually really important. Again, not... So here's the thing. It's also the position. It's like... Again, think about the stuff we talked about off of this video. Just how are you going to get good anti-nades? How are you going to be aggressive with anti-nades? If they get this position really easy on you, and they just stick an Ashe up here, you're confined to a very tight space. Whereas if you tell your team that you want to control this space, you have advantage of this entire rotate from below that you just get anti-nades for free. But if you confine yourself the whole fight to this cafeteria, you're just giving them this high ground for free when you don't really need to. If they're on a J Queen comp and they end up having to rotate all the way around here, okay, yeah, fine, you can drop off. But you can't just assume they're going to be on that, especially if they're not going to kill you, even if they run the comp that you're really sitting back here for. You don't want to give an Ashe space. You want to make sure that you are the one holding this. And if it doesn't work out and you shouldn't really be holding that, then whatever, it happens. But again, super easy to make opportunities for your team if you can control this space and get them in the rotation here, than if you're yucking it like Tom Brady across the entire field. It's just
bomb, hoping and praying.
Yeah, like you don't need to hope and pray if you're uncomfortable as Ana. You just have to be confident and make those big value plays. So realistic right here, you really shouldn't even be peeking, because if this was an actually really good Ashe and not a subpar one, you would have been dead in three shots. Quite quickly, actually. You really would have to just be staging around this health pack a little bit more efficiently, or around the turret, so that when you do get jumped, you have an easier time living. And that's the thing, like, if they have juice, you're forced to play in such a rough spot, whereas you just need to be more aggressive early on. I like the sleep attempts to try to force her out. Right here, it's like, realistically, where's the turret? Okay, turret got broken. I would just be playing in a 1v1 where you're low, trying to play around the health pack and trying to deny the tracer from getting it in the 1v1. So I want to rewatch this just one more time. You kind of took the fight over here. You do have a health pack to play around here. And realistically, whenever you're taking a support 1v1 with a DPS, especially a tracer, sometimes I honestly bait them shooting me, so I take the pack out of the equation so that she can't get it, and then I'm going to invest my utility here. So it's taking it that step further. You did have the sleep dart. She's dumb enough to just ooga booga push you anyways, which when you get better mechanically, you're going to completely dumpster these types of players that don't really care and don't worry about the fact that you have sleep dart. It didn't happen here, whatever, you'll get better. But then take it that step further and don't even give her the chance to have this pack after you're taking the 1v1. Because I'm pretty sure that's what loses you. Yeah, she actually picks up that pack, and right here she's a melee away if you don't let her get that pack.
Yeah.
So
and that's probably what made the fight difference there.
Yeah, no. Living in this 1v1 definitely would hard carry the fight. To be honest though, the real problem was the fact that we didn't take aggressive positioning early on, and we didn't think ahead okay, how am I going to do what I need to do? AKA, as Ana, how am I going to create aggressive opportunities for my team to just get an anti-nade as fast as possible, as efficiently as possible? That is step one. I need to position myself in that area every single time. And most of the time, that's right here. We can see, if we play back here and we play scared and we play like we're just going to poke the whole time, it doesn't really work out for us. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very claustrophobic, and we're not going to be able to find that nade value that we really want to. That's where it went wrong. Sure, the mechanic thing of the 1v1 against the DPS that most people aren't thinking about, which is like deny the pack. Sure, that could have been better, but that's stuff that you're just going to learn through practice. The real problem was, how did we think through this fight? We thought through it wrong from the start.
Yeah, the 3 people uncontested on the high ground did make a bit of a
Yeah,
difference.
they controlled this entire spot, and now you have to 1v1 a Tracer in close space right here without a turret. Meanwhile, if they jump on you up here, you can at least rotate back into a turret. You can go in here. You can rotate back into Cafe later if you want to. There's a lot more options. You want to give yourself more options too. So right here, they didn't get the point yet. Wait, what?
No. Yeah. Our Ram goes ham.
Okay, yeah. Trousers. Or trousers. Absolute goat, I guess. So we're going into the next fight. We know that they have a Nano Winston. That's going to be like prime thing that I have to live. Maybe bait out that Nano, then go into a sleep afterwards. Typically that's what I'm going to be looking to sleep though, if there's a Nano Monkey, you know. So here's the other thing, right? Typically that's the end of it. Okay, they have Nano Monkey. I have to sleep it and run away from it. Typically that's the first thing. Now that we're playing in these higher level scrims, you have to know that there's more steps to this than, oh, I see Nano Monkey, I sleep Nano Monkey. Every single time a monkey jumps in when he has Nano, he will always bubble. You always have to wait out for the bubble. Every single time.
Yeah.
Because he knows that is... He's played enough Overwatch, he's been slept enough as Ana when he was Masters, that he knows if he doesn't bubble this, he's going to lose. So a lot of things is Ana too. It's honestly a mind game too. It's like, okay, I got to wait out this bubble. Or if I know that he already used bubble earlier, I can sleep him out of the air. You have to have the patience to just wait a second, think about the bigger picture, hit the sleep, run away. Don't get, and this is a problem a lot of lower, or not lower, just newer Ana players have, is that they say, ooh, this is what I have to do. This is what my coach told me to do. I have to sleep this guy because this is what my sleep should be allocated towards. And then they just yuck it and they're like, wait, I got trolled. I got killed. So this is going to kill 2 people. It should kill 2 people. It doesn't because, well, 4-3 happens. Right here is
Still
just
a lot of really close fights.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of scrims for you. It can get a little hectic after people have been playing a while. Honestly, right here, I would press the aggression. I feel like right here, you're just being a little too scared. I'd be walking up with your Ram and looking to anti-splash close. You have nothing to be scared of. Your Ram's going to keep you safe.
Height.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would just be more aggressive in the cleanup phase. And right here, the positioning problem is really going to hurt you because you're giving them too much space to make it harder for you to do your job, which is hit those nades. Code VAXTA for aim training. Help you out a lot. Don't need to use your nade on yourself there. Dude, it's kind of crazy how many problems you're having just from sitting on this high ground.
Yeah, it's a lot more open than I initially expected.
Because, yeah, look, now you have to keep backing off, and I don't know. The Nano, I don't mind the idea. It's just that she was anti, so it didn't help her as much as you thought it would. Not the best nade ever. That Bob is almost done anyways. This is just going to come with more time and just more understanding. Like, as you get better at Ana, you're going to be able to think about these things. You don't want to use your nade to heal most of the time. If this Bob was like initial, like beginning Bob, the fight wasn't already pretty much won. Like, we already killed their tank. We pretty much already won. You don't want to use the nade to heal there. If this Bob was initial, like it was an initial Bob, like he just came out and he was this low, I could maybe see trying to heal him, but he's probably going to die anyways. He's a stationary target and it's very easy to headshot. I much rather would see you save that nade. They get really hopeful. They're like, oh wow, we just killed the Bob and maybe we got a pick too. We're just going to win this fight. We can just go super aggressive in, and then they forget, wait, Ana has nade, and then the fight is completely turned. 90% of the time, you are going to be using your nade aggressively to get as many anti-nade effects as possible. Because if I can kill someone or I can stop them from pushing, I heal all of the damage my team would have taken had I not dealt that effect to them. Think about it like that. You can
try
heal
to
as much as
decide
you
how-
want with nade. Most of the time, it's not even going to heal as much as the damage you're really going to do and how much that's going to provide in terms of damage you're going to mitigate in the future. That's something you have to realize as Ana, and that's what makes her good. It's not her healing, it's her anti-nade. Her anti-nade is more powerful than 90% of ults in this game. It's true. But it's barred by the fact that, you know, she's kind of bad. Okay, that was clean. I would have went for the sleep. But, I mean, you still got the pick, so what can I say?
Trying to get him out there.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So when it comes to like so I feel like where I lack is damage dealing with Ana, because she's actually a surprisingly large like damage output hero when it comes to a support.
It can be, yep.
What's the best way to manage your ammo capacity when it comes to deciding whether or not you should shoot your teammates versus the enemies?
To be honest, for me, I don't really think about it in an ammo sense. Before in Overwatch 1, I had 10 bullets and I still didn't think about it. Now you got 15. Realistically, the reason why you're struggling with ammo and why you feel really tight is because of the positioning right here. You're not getting early enough anti-value where it feels like you need to invest more shots to get value. Like that's what it feels like right now. I can see it. It feels like I'm not getting enough damage as other Ana players because they're just killing things and I'm not, or they're just getting more damage done. The reason why is because when you use the anti-nade, you are pressuring the enemies to play, like they've already walked forward, you anti them, now they have to pull back. Those are easy shots that you can hit. That's step one. Step two is you want to time your reloads before the fight happens. But the problem is, because we're giving them so much space, a fight never even happens by the time I've already used half of my clip, because we've given them space, which they initially would have had a fight for anyways. Like, realistically before, they would have to fight to take this high ground. We're just giving it to them, and now we've already used a half a clip, and now we're just in a really bad situation. One small problem in this high of an elo, it causes this many symptoms. But the main problem is we're giving them so much space and not contesting it ever. And that's a team problem, but it really hurts you as Ana, and that's why like you have to tell your team where you want them to play, where you want to play, because you are the most important in terms of where you want to play. Everyone else is pretty fluid, and they're versatile. You not so much. Okay, sure, you huck the nade because it's the best thing you can do, but no one on your team's really available to do anything with it either.
Follow up slow there.
And like that's partly the theory that you have behind the nade, but also where you're playing. Like it doesn't help that you don't really get any other opportunities to even use it. Yeah, again, super uncomfortable spot. You have to throw out a nade, and then it's like, well, what does it really even do for me? Again, thinking about, okay, he's nanoed. He will wait to bubble when he knows he's going to get nanoed this fight. He will wait. I promise you, he will wait.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of timing that out.
You have to have the patience. This is something I still suck at. I'm going to be honest with you. It's very hard, but you have to have the discipline and patience. Wow, your team's just... Wow, okay. Not bad. The team is doing very well at... I mean, to be fair, all that Winston has to do is not int. He just has to let his Ashe poke you out and maybe, like, just walk on point and invest jump later, but he's just kind of inting into your team.
Yeah.
Better Winstons are going to know what to do in these situations, and they're not just going to let you do whatever they want for free. So, again, the thing you have to really think about here is you're a GM player now. You understand the basic of the kit. And I'm going to be honest with most people watching this. All you really need to get to GM, especially with this rank system, is you just need to know the basics of every kit, and you have to know it really well. Which, in and of itself, is very difficult to do. It takes time to learn how every single interaction works in a basic sense. At this point, though, we're talking about the niche stuff that we take for granted when we played this game for 7 years. The stuff that's like, oh, you need this high ground because if they hold this high ground, then you're going to get shot from this next position you want to play from, and then you're very... Like, that stuff, that takes time to learn, but this is where you get to that next level. It's something as simple as, oh, they have that high ground. We can't even look at how you're using your utility because you're not even setting yourself up. Like, the initial problem is the setup here. And And that was the same thing we talked about before, where it's like, how do I set myself up for nade? I don't want to sit on cart. I want to take this high ground that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to arc the nade. I have more options. Whereas if I just sit in this one position that I saw Gale Adelaide play 7 years ago when the game first came out, you know, it's not helping you out a whole lot. You're not getting a lot done. So you got to think bigger picture here. What position's going to make you do the most and make them fight you off of it sometimes? Depends on the situation, but in this instance, it's different. Do you have any questions?
So what I'm taking from this is that you want me to make them get into an uncomfortable position. Like, I want them to have to get themselves in a place where they don't want to be.
Okay.
Like,
let me make this really simple for you, all right?
Yeah.
So why did you, I'm asking you a question, why did you not think it was okay to play on this high ground? What makes this feel like not right?
I had PTSD.
From what?
From Widow headshots from the distance.
Okay, so from Widow headshots, right? Widow. Okay. So here's the thing, right? How can I counteract the Widow? I can just sit on staircase until my team scouts. I have a Ramatra shield. I have a lot of things. I can play behind this pillar. The main thing is that you think it's not safe, right? And you know what? Here's the thing. What you're scared of is, you know, they're going to have to push you off of this. You know that they're probably going to send something up here to get you off of this high ground. And my argument is, that's all the more reason why you should hold this. You should make them fight for it. Because if it's worth fighting for, obviously there's some value to be had here, right? Because here's the thing. If they rotate all the way through here, I'm pretty sure anyone could see, oh, wow, this is like free nades along this huge path. You know what I'm saying? The thing you have to think about is, what does my character need to do in this composition? On Ana, my whole point is that I need to get aggressive anti-nades. If I'm not hitting anti-nades as Ana, I might as well just play literally any other character. Like, I'm being dead serious here. What else does Ana provide to the team outside of anti-nades that another support doesn't? Like, that's all she has. Her anti-nade is stronger than almost every other ultimate in the game. That's why Ana is Ana. That's why her mobility is bad. That's why she's easy to kill, some people say. Because she has those weaknesses because of how powerful the anti-nade is. If you're not going to set yourself up to be aggressive with anti-nades and really just take control of the game, you shouldn't play Ana. And that's why I almost never get to play Ana in a coordinated setting, because she's a pub stomp character in that sense. Sometimes you can get away with it, but that's why you see me on Zen a whole lot more, because it's a lot more conventional the way you can carry.
Yeah, because typically Ana's the one getting called, and then you just have no fun.
Yeah, essentially, you can just get completely dove on Ana, and it's like, what are you going to do? You can live for a long time, but... What's up?
Ash's hat.
Oh, no, my Go XLR thing isn't on. I was going to say, huh? Okay, yeah, I got you. That's weird. Huh? But yeah, it's not like I'm going to force them into uncomfortable positions. It's that you have to play to what your character's strengths are. If you're going to sit all the way back here and do nothing, you might as well play Zen, you might as well play BAP, you might as well play Mercy. That's just going to sit here and do nothing and just be inactive. If you're not going to play your character the way they need to get value, you either swap off or you make it work, which is just playing up here and trying to get value, or at least forcing them out. Because then your team can at least like follow up on the nades as well. The problem is that this seems really simple to you. It's just that you're not thinking about this in game, and until someone brings it up to you, you're going to continue not thinking about it in game.
Yeah, because it's a force of habit. It's been ingrained in my...
Yeah, you just think, oh, I play here because it's safe, and in ladder to get to Grandmaster, all I have to do is live and get some value. In GM, and when you're playing in 4-3 scrims, when you're playing against people that want to be professionals, it's not about living. It's about creating as much value as possible, like completely dumpstering the enemy team. And like living is part of generating that value, but you can't just be scared the whole time. You have to take the bull by the horns. You have to make the game like you are dictating the game here as Ana, as support in general, especially in this meta. Does that kind of answer your question a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, so let's keep going here.
I think I do play Mercy a little bit up here.
Okay, yeah, we're not going to look at the Mercy too much.
It's not exactly the most riveting.
I mean, it is Mercy. Man, you play a lot of Mercy.
Yeah, I think...
Moira.
I think oh no. I think I play Moira for the rest of this.
You know what? We're gonna look at Moira. Screw it. Okay. Inside the mind of a GM Moira now. Here's the thing. It's gonna be similar. Like I'm okay the fact that you're playing Moira here. I'd much rather would see honestly a Lucia or an Ana actually in this comp. I don't know why you're not playing Ana. I guess you felt like you were kind of getting dumpstered. But the reason why is because of the way that you were positioning yourself. So you know what? Let's take this Moira now and let's maybe see what you can do better here. Because this is really just inside the mind of a top 500 support and a GM support. I play Moira as well, but Moira kind of sucks right now. I much rather would see you on an Ana here and just play smarter.
Yeah, play in the back. Play
Top 500 scrims, and this dude's on his cell phone. All right.
I was whispering a coach.
You're sticking your Kiri on cart so that your Genji can get ult. Honestly, you really should just be sticking on a...
Yeah.
Or like maybe Zen. I don't know. This is like a really unconventional comp lineup that we're playing right here, though. All right. You don't play a lot of Moira, do you?
No.
Okay, great. Because you've got a lot of problems with this.
This was a panic pick.
So here's the thing, right? Why did you hold this Genji so long? You know that when you tap fire heal as Moira, that it heals over time, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to hold this much resource when in reality you only needed about like this much.
Yeah.
Because that all that Moira is resource management. It's all she is. I'm dead serious. It's so weird that she can fade now in Cole.
Yeah, I still and will never get used to that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know if I want to look at this because Moira is just such a bad pick here.
Yeah, Moira is.
You know, I want to ask you because I think this still goes into the whole theming as Ana here, and I think this is something that you struggle with from the two VODs I've seen. Why is Moira not that great of a pick here? Outside of just the fact that Moira is just a worse version every single area of the board compared to Kiriko. That, like, obviously Moira is just completely dog meat compared to Kiri. Why would Moira be bad? Even if she was like a really good pick right now, why would she be bad on this map, on this point specifically? Second point.
It's because she's easy to push out and there's a high ground that controls most of the
Easy to push out? What do you mean by
Yeah.
that?
Well, because they can walk on me before I wraith, and then once I wraith, their Winston jumps on me.
Dude, they can do that on any map, and that's never gonna happen. You should never get forced out as Moira. Sorry, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, no, it's fine, man.
So that's definitely not what I'm talking about here. Look about the topography. Is that what it is? Elevation?
Yeah.
Topography.
I think so, right?
I think that's right. Look at it on this map.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the high grounds we have here.
Yeah, a lot of it.
A lot of it. Moira has a very hard time doing anything about that and even doing anything with the high ground. She doesn't really get a whole lot done here.
Yeah.
That other characters couldn't get more done with. Moira's never going to get forced out. Really, she shouldn't be. She has Fade. Her team should jump in with her. Like, she shouldn't really struggle with this at all. The problem here is that there's verticality that she can't really deal with. And when you look at your character, Moira wants to take very close range engagements. She doesn't want to spend a whole lot of time rotating. Like that, Brawl doesn't really want to rotate. They have to, but she doesn't want to spend a whole lot of time rotating. And we're playing a dive v dive matchup. We're not playing 5-man where it's like Moira, Lucio, Tracer, Sombra, Winston, which you just run Kiri, Lucio now anyways. It's not like a Brawl dive comp. That's its own section. We're playing dive. We're playing Sombra Genji. So I feel like what you struggle with is like, how do I apply the right character to the situation? And how do I really get the value I need out of it? So right now, you said Moira's a panic pick. And dude, don't feel like I'm attacking you because genuinely, I did the same stuff you did. I just did it many years ago when I first started scrimming. Like at the same place that you are now, I've been there. This is something everyone goes through.
You've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it in myself. I used to be this player where I'm like, dude, why am I not getting anything done? It must just be because I'm on a bad character, panic pick to something else.
Yeah.
So we have to really delve down here. You said more as a panic pick, but you also have to understand maybe it's just the way I'm playing the character. Maybe it's the way I'm playing Ana. Maybe it's like, oh, like, why can't I get anything done? Is it because of the meta? Sometimes it is. But other times it's like, what am I giving them? Am I not playing her where I want them to be? Like, the first step is, and this is going to lead into the takeaways. So get your notepad ready whenever. The first step is, what does my character want to do, and like, what position am I going to be able to do that? And when you want to switch, it's when that enemy team is going to consistently be able to deny you from playing the way that you want to play, just 100%. And one of those ways that Ana really struggles with is in those metas where it's like 5-man, where it's a very horizontal map, not a lot of verticality to it, where you're just going to get run down every single time. Like, there's no running for you. You are just going to die. Like, those maps are the maps where Ana struggles on, because it's like, I never can get to one of those angles that's going to let me get those anti-nades early and be aggressive. On a map like this is Ana's heaven. This is one of Ana's best maps because she can have that verticality and she always has an angle she can choose. The problem is that you didn't think about what is it that Ana really excels at, and how can I abuse the map and, quite frankly, just destroy the enemy team by using that. We didn't take it to that next step. So right here, it's like, what's up? Go ahead.
So where would you place Ana on this map? Because I was really confused how to utilize Ana on, like, after we switched to attack. I was really confused on where you would have an Ana on such a vertical map.
Okay, so you're talking about how would you go about attacking as Ana?
Yes.
Okay. And this is actually a really good question, because this is honestly something that realistically I should probably make a video about. Like, I feel like this is something a lot of people want to know. So, okay, number one, what does Ana want to do? What is Ana's main goal?
Apply pressure with the anti-nade.
Yes, get anti-nades, make aggressive opportunities for your team to follow up upon. That's a loaded thing. It's a loaded concept, but hit an anti-nade that my teammates can actually follow up upon that's going to get some value. That's the main thing. How am I going to get that done easier? Is it easier for me to get it on a high ground and look down? Or is it easier for me to look from a low ground and yuck it up, or look at it across the map? You know this. Obviously, you want to be on some form of high ground or some form of advantageous angle. Because if they're on Reinhardt, for example, it's going to be really hard to nade him when I'm on the same level as he is. But when I'm above him, he has a lot more to think about. He's got a whole YZ plane, not just an X plane.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking that, and I'm looking at this first point, would I want to play down here on the low ground just because my team's going to rotate through there fast? Or when I'm in a scrim setting, am I going to utilize my voice and be assertive and be like, hey guys, let's clear this high ground first, set up our Ash or whatever we had on the attack. Let's set up our hit scan and me on the high ground, chill here for a little bit, wait for cooldowns once we force them out, and then take the fight from here on Juice is what I call it. I'm going to take the fight on Juice. Because why? Why would I want to take the fight on Juice? Why would I want to take the time out of the fight to get to this position?
So that we force them to have to hide and use cover.
You can force them in a bad position, sure. Let's say they don't do that. Let's say they continue to take the fight on point. What is it easy for? How am I going to get value here?
My nades are more free.
It's so much easier to get nades. It's so much easier to do my job as Ana when I take that extra step and I set myself up first. You don't have to be Shroud. You don't have to be these crazy Overwatch League players to realize that you can make stuff easier for yourself. The pros do this all the time. Pros set themselves up more than they just follow through on their own thing. Like, there's a lot of Overwatch League players. Quite frankly, there's a lot of Contenders players that have better aim and mechanics than Overwatch League players. But the reason why Overwatch League players are Overwatch League players is because they know the steps, they know how to abuse the game to make it play to their strengths. That is why they're Overwatch League players. It's not just mechanics. So you have to think about this. This or this. As Kiriko, I don't have to worry about none of this BS. I can just walk in and do whatever I want. Same thing with Bap. I just walk with my team and they make it happen for me. As Ana, there's a lot more steps. But it's a lot more polarizing if you can get this off.
Yeah.
Like, you have to realize Ana is a polarizing character. You either carry or you do absolutely nothing, and there is no in between. There's very little in between. That's first point. That's very basic. Second point. Okay, cool. Typically, I don't want to play cart. I want to leave my Genji or my Monkey or like a Tracer on cart. Maybe not Tracer because it's a vertical map. Anything that's going to have an easy time getting to this high ground and take the fight. Like the cart rule is, for me in my head, this might not be the Overwatch League standard, but whoever has the easiest time getting back into a fight wherever the fight is most likely going to be is the one that should be on cart. So in this situation, if I stick my Winston on cart and I send my whole team on this high ground, this Winston's going to have a very easy time jumping on height, and I have a 5v5 while having this cart pushed the whole time. If I stick my Ana on this cart, she's not going to be able to contribute to the fight, and now we're taking a 4v5 instead of a 5v5. You want to have someone that's going to have an easy time getting back into this fight. So either, in this example, realistically, either the Genji or Winston. For me, depends on who I think is better on the team and who the team thinks is better and is going to carry harder. But in my opinion, it should probably just be the Genji. When I'm thinking about this on Ana, where would you, if we're not going to have her on a stick cart, where do we think we're going to have the Ana go if I'm not playing Mori here and I'm playing Ana?
Try to take that little lift for Grandma over on the right side.
As a team, we're going to take this fight on high ground. So I'm going to save my nade. I'm going to rotate with my team effectively. Take this, try to find a nade. If we find a nade that's big enough that's going to force him out, cool. We have this high ground now. And if we can force him off both high grounds and we control both of these, the cart's going to keep pushing to about where this pink or this black dot is. And now look, again, easy anti-nades, easy value. If they jump up on me with a Genji Sombra or whatever they have, an Ashe, I can drop off. But at least I forced them to invest onto me. I got something out of that high ground. Whereas if I played low ground this whole time, they can just walk on me, and then if I try to run away, they'll jump on me again. It's just a bad situation that no one is going to be able to do anything with. I don't care if you're like Ryu Jae Hong, if you're Gale. You're not getting anything done if you sit on the low ground. But if we're on high ground, we have options now. We can get things done. We can hit nades. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I'm playing on second point, it's okay. Given where this fight is going to take place, where am I going to get the most value? How am I going to get it done? Obviously, this is a very simplified version of my thought process. But the main idea is, hey, look at this topography. Look at this verticality. I'm getting value here if I can maintain control here. Now, the dilemma is, if my team is really struggling getting on this high ground because I'm on Ana and I'm dying too fast because Ana's bad, blah, 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 that's when you're going to want to switch to the Lucio. That's when you're going to want to switch to the Kiriko. Because now the character, you can't even get the character set up where they really need to be. Then it's time to switch. That's when it's time to switch. When the team is doing such a good job at denying your team of what they want to do that you need to switch off. And
denying that high ground, keeping the pressure on me. So wherever, so you would say when to switch is at least attempt to get the high ground. And if we try 1 or 2 times that fails, then I switch.
Quite frankly, the way I think about it's time to switch off isn't really a performance issue. It's more so of understanding, okay, this character is just bad given the meta right now.
Yeah.
In your situation, I'm going to be honest, I don't think you ever have to switch. At your level, I don't think you necessarily ever have to switch here. Because the enemy team is not going to be that crazy mechanical or playing a comp that's that good. I mean, look at this thing. What is that? They're not going to play a comp that's that great that's going to hard stop you from getting the high ground. What I would say is, like, when you get into those higher level scrims and people are like, it's just clear that even if you played perfectly, there's no way that I'm going to get this character where they need to be playing. That's when it's time to switch. That's a hard thing for me to say. Like, it's hard for me to define that, but that's how I think about it. If you are struggling though, even if she is the best pick ever to get to this high ground, I would honestly, I probably would still say, it's time to switch. I wouldn't attribute the fact that you're losing immediately that you need to switch, but in the moment, I would make that decision. Afterwards, I would really delve into it. Did I really need to switch, or am I just playing really bad? That's the time afterwards that you're going to make that reflection. But what I'm trying to say is don't attribute your loss just because you think, oh, character was bad pick. Always think, okay, what could I have done better? If I literally couldn't have done anything better, that's how you know it's time to switch. The breakpoints are just not it for that character in this given patch. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
It's like a switch. So in this case, the switch is more of a me blaming the character than it is blaming my own like
Yes. Right now, I
differences.
think it's just that you're playing the character so wrong that you're not even really playing the character. You're just kind of like going through the motions.
Yeah.
Like you understand, oh, I need to be aggressive with this. I need to be aggressive with that. But it's like we're not playing with the congruent idea of that. Does that make sense? Like we're not linking what we know we should do with what we're actually doing. We're just kind of like, oh, I should do this. Hopefully the opportunity presents itself, instead of being assertive and like making it happen.
Yeah.
Right now, quite frankly, it's just like, okay, autopilot. That's a problem every GM player has. Every top 500 player has until you hit top tier 3 when people start thinking. I don't know why it is that way, but it really is. I was the same way. I autopiloted every single scrim. It's probably because back then I just really didn't enjoy myself when I was playing. But now it's different. Like now I'm constantly thinking. So does second point make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, third point is it can be a little daunting, I will say. Because it's like realistically, what high grounds are there really for you to take control of?
Not really many.
Is what I used to think. But now there's another thing. Again, when you're watching Overwatch League, if it's a brawl versus brawl matchup, what do you see teams almost always doing? You always see teams rotating all the way around here and fighting right here on this high ground up here. You like this corner matchup, realistically, brawl versus brawl, maybe. But if it's a weird matchup like dive versus brawl, everyone's always fighting up here. And right now, I know what you're thinking. Paz, that's going to take like 10 seconds for my entire team to rotate and clear this high ground. What are you thinking? That's mental. Why would you ever do that? But the whole thing is, if you just sit on cart here as Ana, and you just walk around here, what's going to happen if you're here? What's the enemy going to do?
Position.
The monkey isn't even going to invest jump. He's just going to drop here. Someone's going to come from here. Someone's going to come from here. Someone's going to... Oh, shoot. You're surrounded. Wait a minute. I'm playing dive. I'm supposed to be surrounding them. I'm supposed to be the one hitting the anti-nades. And now, even if I get a sleep on something, what is the Winston going to do? Boing. He's out. He's gone. It doesn't matter anymore. Fundamentally, if I just stick my Ana on cart and do nothing here, nothing happens.
Keep her in the back,
I need to
safe.
force them off of where they most likely want to play, which is this high ground. I need to take that, and then as the fight progresses, because someone will always be pushing cart here, if we win this high ground, because we're going to invest nade in this situation here to get them out of this. Then the fight happens. We push them back far enough that now they have the low ground, and my Ana is sitting on this perch here, and I'm sure you've played Ana up here before in ranked, or you've seen someone play Ana up here in ranked. This is just so nice.
It's a pain to get them out of
It's
that
a pain
high
to get them out of that, and the amount of value they're going to get from being up here, so big. When you know the fight's always going to happen here. This is where I'm going to deviate, though, from what I've been talking about this entire time. Because sometimes, in metas, they're just going to be able to jump on that high ground no matter what. They're going to stage really well, and they're always just going to get you killed. So in those metas where people are just always going to run you down, sometimes it isn't the best to go all the way around here. If you know that their play is to just get on you every single time, sometimes it is the right play to distance yourself as much as possible and try to force them to jump on you. But the key here is you're forcing them to jump on you. You're forcing them to take the fight the way they have to, which is to play aggressively here. I don't think you're ever going to run into a meta at the level that you're at where players are going to understand that their main goal is to just ooga booga rush Ana all the time. I don't think you're at a level where people are going to be playing 5-man and 3-2-1ing you that well. That's why I'm thinking you need to have the basic Ana thing down, which is how is Ana going to get the value in the situation? She needs to force them off of the high ground so that she's not shooting up at them and you're rather shooting down at them with the nade. It's a lot easier to splash behind a shield than it is when the shield's in your face. Quite frankly, it's impossible when the shield's in your face unless you hit terrain. And as much as the content creators like to say, oh, just bounce it off terrain, lol, that's what I do. Yeah, that doesn't really happen all the time because most terrain in this game is blockable by a shield. Most of it is.
Yeah.
There's few instances in which it's not. And you do need to look for those, but realistically, the main thing is how am I setting myself up first? No one talks about that. Does third point make a little bit more sense to you?
Yeah.
So
It's all about the high ground. It's all about that control, keeping that area for yourself.
And, you know, it's not necessarily all about the high ground. This map specifically, it does tend to be a lot of high ground positions. But that's just because it's Hollywood. Some maps don't have a lot of high ground. Some maps just have better routes that you can flank from that isn't really quote-unquote high ground, like Lijiang Control Center. Do I want to put my Ana in White Room where they're just going to walk down with the Rhine Shield and hit her every single time? Or do I want to send her to the outside window where that enemy team's going to have to rotate all the way outside? It's a damn hassle to go for the Ana at that point. But Ana's always going to have an easy nade from that high ground. Same thing with Zen. He's always going to have good, consistent damage from that high ground, and they're going to have to invest to get to him, which will inevitably happen because they have to force you off, but at least make them work a little bit to get you to switch to the better character, Kiriko. Because, like, no doubt, Kiriko's the better character almost 9 times out of 10. At least make them work for it. The whole thing with Ana is that most people don't know how to work for it, and then you just completely dumpster them, and it's an IQ check. Like, you can hit top 50 doing that. Shocker, I don't know if you know Shocker. Dude's got a 38% win rate on Ana, and he's top 50 right now, and he's doing that kind of stuff. So, like, that's how you do it. Like, that's how you become top 500. It's proven at this point. You know?
You see that guy at a 28%, so I understand where you're coming from.
If you just sit around and do nothing, and you play Ana like really scared like you could really any other support, you're not going to get anything done. And I hope that makes more sense to you. It's not about high ground, high ground, high ground. That's the one thing I don't want you to get out of this. It's not just like, oh, high ground's what you want to play. Because that's what a lot of like plat players get out of content. They're like, oh, cool. I just hold high ground and I win games. They'll get to diamond and they'll be like, why am I still diamond? It's not about high ground. It's about a position in which you're going to be able to get that nade to activate your team easier and be powerful instead of them forcing you out and making yourself play in these really tight spaces that you can't get good nades off. It's about that. It's not as simple as, oh, high ground, lol, thumbs up. Like, because some maps don't do that. And I just hope that you're getting that bigger picture because on other maps, it doesn't happen like that. But that's also why, like, high ground typically is that position which you can get hit an easier nade. And that's why Ana does well on maps like Hollywood, on maps like Numbani, because there's a lot of, like, the whole first point of Numbani is just an atrocious high ground, right?
High ground.
Like, she does so well there because you have to force them to jump you off of that, or else you're just hitting big nades the entire time. And why she doesn't do well on maps like, I don't know, Coliseo. She does not that well on that map because it's super long sight lines. Realistically, like one high ground that you can use one fight, you might as well just run a Kiriko that has crazy horizontal mobility and the perfect amount of vertical mobility that she needs to just win.
And the damage output, especially with the cleanse, well, it's just Kiri's beatable.
The sharp damage output, the amount that she can get picks, she can confirm kills. She doesn't do a lot of damage. She confirms kills. If you're playing here but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. With Ana, she tends to have an easier time on high grounds, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Do you have any other questions?
So you were talking about nanos earlier. Who would take priority in this? Because when you have a Kiri, I assume she doesn't really take the nano, and I assume so. Genji would probably take priority, but when it's not with Blade, do you still continue to look for the nano monkey and use that as a crutch to win fights?
So here's the thing, right? When I use nano, at the end of the day, what is the goal of me using nano? If I use an ultimate, what do I want to do? I want to win the fight. Super simple. If I can get away with nanoing a monkey, even if I have Blade, and I'm going to win the fight by just nanoing monkey, I still won the fight. Like, does it really matter that much? You know, at the highest level, yes, it quite frankly does. But for your level, it's like, the way I use nano is very fluid. I don't think about nano in combos. I think that if I can win a fight using a nano on one instead of investing 2 ultimates, that's great. That's fantastic. You know? But if I were to give you the simple answer, I would probably say, if you have nano and the Genji has Blade, you're probably going to nano Blade. If you have nano, but the Genji's like 20% on Blade, and you have EMP, you're probably going to nano the monkey into the EMP. In this fight, that's pretty simple to me. Like, you're going to just nano the monkey when... Because here's the thing. As Ana, when you get better, you are going to generate your nano incredibly fast. Like, much faster than the Genji's going to. So, you have...
To get 2 in one of his blades.
You can. The better you get. And the Genji has to understand that you're going to be cycling in that nano as much as possible, because if you're winning fights with nano, you're going to keep the tempo up, you're going to keep the momentum. They don't get as much ult charge, and now you're just completely snowballing, you know? You want to keep using that nano aggressively. The thing is, though, that's not really something you should focus on. What you need to focus on is the very basic of how am I going to get this nade off as Ana? How am I going to be consistent with it? How am I going to make sure that they have to fight for me, and it's not just I'm falling over like I'm a grandma with arthritis. You're not an arthritis grandma. You are Ana. You're the bounty hunter grandma that's badass. Play like it. Like, don't let them just walk all over you. You know?
Play with power, take a position.
Yes, be assertive. Be assertive.
Yeah.
That's like the number one thing for any support. Be assertive. Know what you need to do and deliver. That's your job.
You don't want to just utilize people to make a difference themselves.
You are the one making the difference to make your team's life easier. That's what support is. It's support, not healer, blah, blah, blah. We could talk about that all day. But, you know, I digress.
People are going to get mad at you for that one.
I mean, ML7's merch is support, not healer at this point. I feel like everyone's starting to catch the wave. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everyone's starting to catch on a little bit.
Support side.
Yeah. But do you have any other questions?
I think that sums it up so far.
Awesome. Then we're gonna end the VOD for today. Do you have any socials that you want to gas up?
Make sure to tune into OSU when we play, especially if we're going versus Penn State anytime soon. And,
yeah, you guys are gonna get dumpstered by the GOATs, Penn State University.
Hey, we'll see.
Lava who? Lava who? Santa who?
He'll juggle you to next city, dude.
Okay, yeah, that's why I have my sleep and I wait for the bubble. Unlike you, hey, nah, nothing personal, it's just sure. What's up?
And then I do stream on Twitch. Santa's a nerd.
Santa is a nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, Santa is a nerd. If I forget to put that into the description because I'll be at the beach when this uploads, my bad. But if I do remember it, go in the description. You know? But I appreciate you for coming out here and actually doing the VOD review. The way this happened, I understand, was not the most conventional way, and quite frankly was a little unprofessional. It was just kind of like, hey, Lava was like, hey, Paz, VOD review this guy. And I was like, oh, okay. But hey, dude, I appreciate the fact that you actually were willing to come out and do this. I hope you learned something, and I hope everyone that watched this YouTube video learned something. It's not very often anymore that I get these VOD videos, because to be honest, a lot of you just don't really play the game that much. And I understand that wholeheartedly, because the game right now, it's hard to be an Overwatch fan again.
In a rough state.
It's hard to be an Overwatch fan, but hopefully that turns around. Again, free VOD Fridays, 2 p.m. Eastern time every Friday, just not this Friday because, you know, beach. But moving forward, free VOD Friday every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want a free 15-minute VOD, go check into that. But I don't got anything else for you guys. I hope you learned some things. If you have questions, leave them in the comments down below. But until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.